Hello, good morning to all of you. Children, I am Dr. Deobrata Mukherjee, PGT Biology, Kendriya Vidyalaya number 1, Kachrapada, Kolkata region. Welcome to everybody to my online biology class. Today, we will explain the diversity in the living world. This is the first lesson of class 11 biology of NCERT curriculum. So, the first of all, we must know the gist of the lesson, means which will be focus of discussion of today's lecture. We have to know about the definition of the concept of living, characteristics of living organisms, for example, growth, reproduction, metabolism, cellular organization, consciousness, and diversity in the living world, that is biodiversity, nomenclature, identification, binomial nomenclature, the generic name, and the specific epithet. So, next we will study about the universal rules of nomenclature, classification, taxa, taxonomy, systematics, taxonomic categories, and simultaneously we have to study about the taxonomic aids also, that is herbarium, botanical gardens, museum, zoological park key, and flora, manuals, monographs, and the catalogs. So all the points will be discussed in today's class. So do you know everybody that what is living? We have a clear concept about the livingness. Means to define living, we generally conventionally look for the distinctive characteristics exhibited by living organisms, that is growth, reproduction, ability to sense environment and mount a suitable response, and few more features like the metabolism, ability to self-replication, and the self-organization, interact and emergence are to be discussed. So what is the features of all living things? Number one, grow. Two important characteristics of growth, that is the increase in mass and increase in number. In case of plants, we see the growth by cell division occurs continuously throughout their lifespan. Here through the pictures I have been developed it. And in case of the animals, slightly different concept. Animals' growth is seen only up to a certain age, and growth in unicellular organisms can easily observed in vitro culture by the easily observing cells under the microscope. In the majority of higher plants and animals, growth and the reproduction are mutually exclusive events. So, next important point we are talking about, that is the reproduction. Reproduction is what? The process by which the offsprings produce their offsprings. That is called the reproduction. So the successive generation should be sterile. If fertile, then the reproduction is not continuing. So that is the production of progeny possessing features more or less similar to their parents also. So organisms reproduce by asexual and sexual means also. So let us talk about the asexual reproduction first. The means of the asexual reproduction are as follows. Asexual spores, that is fungi, they multiply and spread easily due to the millions of the asexual spores. So that is to be talked about. And the very next point about the asexual reproduction, the next step is budding. Example, yeast and the hydra, we could see the budding. The very next, true regeneration, organisms is representing planaria, that is flat one. And the very next point is the fragmentation. Also the fungi, filamentous algae, protonema of the mosses. So from there, friends, we could conclude that the reproduction is synonymous to growth, that is increasing number of cells. So organisms which do not reproduce, example mule, sterile worker, bees, infertile human couples also. So the another this piece of characteristics of life is metabolism. So, when you are talking about the metabolism, we know the anabolic and the catabolic processes are being collectively called these V's of the metabolism. So, it is a sum total of all the chemical reactions basically occurring in our body, that is called this metabolism. All living organisms are made up of the chemicals, small and big, belonging to various classes, sizes, functions. These are constantly being changed and forms biomolecules. This convention is called metabolic reactions. And the cellular organization of the body is the defining feature of a life forms. Very next point, we are talking about the consciousness. That is the defining property of the living organisms. All living organisms has a ability to sense their surroundings or the environment and the response to the environmental stimuli, that is physical, chemical or biological. Plants respond to external factors, light, water and temperature. And from prokaryotes to eukaryotes, all can sense and respond to environmental cases. Do you know the which one is the only organism has self consciousness? Yes, that is human being. Human being the only organism has the self consciousness. Next, we will talk about diversity in the living world, that is biodiversity. The number of a known species and the described ranges between 1.7 to 1.8 million. Actually, variability of life on earth, that is called biodiversity, and this refers to biodiversity or the number of type of the organisms present on the earth. So let us talk about the Indian biodiversity. India is a mega diverse country with only 2.4% of world's land area, accounts for 7% to 8% of all recorded species, 45,000 species of plants, 91,000 species of animals. Here you see the pictures of the biodiversity of plants. Now, the Indian plants in India, there are the estimated and there are the estimated over 18,000 species of flowering plants in India, which constitutes 6 to 7% of total plant species in the world. India is the home to more than 50,000 species of plants, including a variety of the endemics. Here I have shown you the variety of the plant species. So, we are studying about the biodiversity, but the question came, how could you give their name? How could you call according to their name? There is a need to standardize naming of the living organisms such that a particular organism is known by the same name all over the world. This process is called nomenclature. And if you would like to know the name, nomenclature is done. But when it will be successfully done, nomenclature or naming only possible when the organism is described correctly and you know what organism the name is attached to. Yes, this is called identification. Here you see list of scientific names of animals and birds, which I am showing you. So now the question is that there are some rules which is universally accepted during the time of this being the, how could you call them? For the, yes, that is there, ICBN and ICZN. ICBN is implemented for plants. For plants, scientific names are based on the agreed principles and the criteria provided in International Code for Botanical Nomenclature, that is ICBN. Here I have shown you the logo of the ICBN, the Botanical Nomenclature International Code. There is some books are there. So in case of animal, it is ICZN. Animal taxonomist has evolved International Code of Zoological Nomenclature. So whenever we have talked about ICBN and ICZN, we must have to discuss about the biological nomenclature procedure. So let us follow that one. All these discussion are interrelated. So we are talking about binomial nomenclature. Biologists follow the universally accepted principles to provide scientific name to no organisms. Each name has two components, generic name and specific epithet. This system of providing a name with two components, that is called the binomial nomenclature, and the naming system introduced by Carolus Linnaeus, which has been followed till now. Here you see the photograph of the Carolus Linnaeus. There are some rules which is universally followed during the nomenclature, that is called universal rules of nomenclature. Here I have shown you the mango, Mangifera indica, in this perspective to discuss the universal rules of nomenclature. Example, you know, there are four important points. Number one, biological names are generally in Latin and written in the italics. They are italicized or for the derived from the Latin irrespective of their origin. The first word in a biological name represents the genus, with the second component denotes the specific epithet. Both the words in a biological name, when handwritten, these are the separately underlined or printed in italics to indicate their Latin origin. So the fourth point is that you know the first word denoting the genus starts with a capital letter, specific epithet starts with a small letter which is underlined with the example Mangifera indica. Here I have shown you the picture of that one. Next point is coming to the classification. So here I have shown you three pictures. One is dog, variety of cat and variety of insects. So these three pictures to be following while in discussion of classification. Actually, it is a process by which anything is grouped into convenient categories based on some easily observable characters. What are the examples? We easily recognize groups, plants or animals, or dogs, cats or insects. Here you see the pictures. The moment you use any one of the term, we associate certain characters with the organisms in that group. What image do you see when you think of a dog? We see dogs and not the cats. And hence, dogs, cat, mammals, wheat, rice, plants, animals, etc. are all the convenient categories which is used to study the organisms. You follow the picture. Next one coming, what are the name of these units? That is called the taxa. The scientific term for the category is taxa. Taxa can indicate categories at very different levels. Plants also form a taxa. Wheat, animals, mammals, dogs are also taxa. Based on these characteristics, all living organisms can be classified into different taxa, and this process is called taxonomy. So what are the features, points to follow to establish the concept of taxonomy? External, internal structures, structure of cell, development process, ecological information of the organisms are essential from the basis of modern taxonomic studies. So what are the bases of the taxonomy? Then subsequently we have to discuss. There are four important processes. Number one is characterization, identification, classification and nomenclature. These are the process that is the basis of taxonomy. Earliest classification of taxonomy, is it something new or it has been practiced from long back? That is a question. Do you know it? Actually, taxonomy is not something new. In earlier days, our forefathers, ancestors, the human beings needed to find sources for their basic needs of the food, clothing and shelter. Hence the earliest classification based on the uses of various organisms. So now we are talking about something long we have discussed, knowing about different kinds of organisms and their derivatives, but what are the relationship among them? That is to be followed under the branch systematics. Systematic is derived from the Latin word systema, which means systematic arrangement of organisms. And Linnaeus used Systema Naturae as the title of his publication. Here you see his first publication, Systema Naturae, where he established the binomial nomenclature concept at the time. Long back, you see the printing technique at the time, the photographs, all things are there. That is the real the picture, true picture of its first publication. and from there the systema term has been used. So what is the scope for systematics? That is actually well extended. That is for identification, nomenclature, classification, everywhere systematic is applied. And ultimately to discuss about the concept of evolutionary relationship, systematics is also there. So that is this diversification. Friends, next we are talking about the taxonomic categories and taxonomic hierarchy. Actually, classification is not a single step process. That is involved the hierarchy of steps in which each step represents a rank or the category. Since the category is a part of overall taxonomic arrangement, it is called taxonomic category, and all categories constitute taxonomic hierarchy. Actually, now the question is coming, what is the name of every unit? Each category as a considered as a unit of classification, so represents a rank, and this is commonly called a taxon. Here it is there, you see the species, genus, family, order, class, phylum, division, and the kingdoms all are followed. So next you have to talk about how could you illustrate taxonomic categories and hierarchy. Insects represent a group of the organisms sharing common features, three pair of jointed legs. Any three pair of jointed legs, you think that is insects. So that is a concrete objects also which can be classified even a rank or the category. Groups represent the category. Categories further denotes rank. Each rank of a taxon represents a unit for the classification. So we are talking about the taxonomic group or the categories. These are distinct biological entities, not merely morphological aggregates. So friends, taxonomic study lead to the development of common categories. Example, kingdom, phylum, division, class, order, family, genus, species, all are shown here. So first of all, we have to start by unit, species. So actually, the taxonomic study here have been displayed the photographs of mango, Mangifera indica, potato, Solanum tuberosum, and the Panthera leo, that is lion. So these three examples will be used to discuss the concept of species. Actually, the sexually reproducing interbreeding group of the organisms which are sexually or the reproductively isolated from another similar group, that is species. And the taxonomic studies is usually considered a group of individual organisms with fundamental similarities as a species, and one should be able to distinguish one species from the other closely related species based on distinct morphological differences. Example, see the picture, Solanum tuberosum, potato, and Panthera leo. So all the three names indica, the tuberosum and leo, the second word, these are the specific epithets. But while the first word, Mangifera, Solanum, and Panthera, these are genera. This is the higher level of taxonomy category. So if you talking about the species, here you see the three more examples have shown: Panthera tigris, tiger; Solanum melangena, brinjal; Solanum nigrum, the tomato; Homo sapiens, human being. These are discussed into elaborately, and just elaborate clarification. Each genus may have more than one or more specific epithets representing the different organisms but having morphological similarities. For example, Panthera, they have another specific epithet called tigris. You see the picture. Solanum indicates species like nigrum, and this being melangena, that is tomato and the brinjal respectively. So human being belongs to this species sapiens, which is grouped into genus Homo. So scientific name for human being is Homo sapiens. Here it is discussed. Hope you are been following the concepts. So let us talk about the genus now. You follow the picture of the African leopard, Panthera pardus, and various types of cats we are given. So that will be discussed also. Genus is a group of a related species which have more characters is common in comparison to of the other genera. It is aggregation of closely related species. Example, potato and brinjal, two different species, but it belongs to the genus Solanum, common name is there. And the lion, Panthera leo, and the leopard, you see the picture, Panthera pardus, and tiger, we have shown you the picture, Panthera tigris, with several common features. So all belongs to the genus, the Panthera. So this genus differs from another genus, Felis, which includes cat. So you see the picture of cat. So next we are going to next hierarchy, that is family. So the all related genera group together to form a family, but their similarities are less if you go compared to genus and species. That will be the characterized on the basis of both vegetative and reproductive features of the plant species. Among plants there are three different genera: Solanum, Petunia and Datura. These are placed in family Solanaceae. Among animals in the genus Panthera, comprising lion, tiger, leopards, put along with the genus Felis, cat in the family Felidae. Some similarities, some dissimilarities feature of cat and dog. These are separated into two different families, Felidae and the Canidae. So next let us talk about the order. Order is what you know. Order having higher taxonomic category is the assemblage of families which exhibit a few similar characters. Similar characters are less in number as compared to the different genera include a family. Plant families like Convolvulaceae, Solanaceae, you see the pictures. These are included, I have shown you the Convolvulaceae and Solanaceae. These are coming under the order Poliomylis based on a floral characters. The floral features are same, more or less. Simultaneously, if you talk about the animal perspective, animal order Carnivora, that includes families like Felidae and Canidae. So Felidae means tiger, Felidae means the you now see the leopard also, but the here you see the Canidae is a dog family. Felidae is the tiger family, Canidae is the dog family. Timberwood, this maned wolf, and the domestic dog all are coming. The examples are there. So next here is the class. You now see, if you talk about the class, you know this category includes the related orders. So actually, 1 minute, class. These are been related orders. Example, you see the picture, order primates. These are comprising the monkey, gorilla and the gibbon, that is placed under the mammalia. Along with order carnivora, there is tiger, cat and dog. So class Mammalia has the other order too also. That will be discussed. Next higher category is the phylum. The class comprising animals like the fishes, amphibians, reptiles, birds, along with mammals constitute next higher category called the phylum. All of these are based on common features, that is presence of notochord, dorsal hollow neural system included in phylum Chordata. But in case of plant it is different. Classes with a few similar characteristics are assigned in case of plant, higher category called division. Here I have shown you the picture of the divisions also. So next one is the kingdom. All animals belonging to various phyla, that is assigned to highest category or the taxa called the kingdom Animalia. So you see the picture, and the next one showing you the picture of plant kingdom, kingdom Plantae, the comprises of plants from the various divisions. So dear friends, so we are discussing about the higher form of species to the kingdom. As we go higher, so the number of the common characters are goes on decreasing. Lower the taxa, more are the characteristics. Those are the members within the taxa share. Higher the category, greater is the difficulty to determining the relationship to other taxa at the same level. Hence, the problem of classification are more complex. So, based on the discussion, let us have a exemplify the entire concept. To discuss, you follow the table, organisms with their taxonomic categories. Example, The animal man, common name man, biological name Homo sapiens, genus is Homo, family is the Homidae, order is Primata, class is Mammalia, phylum is the Chordata. Next housefly, scientific name is the Musca domestica, and this genus is this Muscus, Musca, and the family is the Muscidae, order is Diptera, class Insecta, phylum Arthropoda. Next you talk about the mango, Mangifera indica, genus is the Mangifera, family in the Anarchidaceae, order is the Sapnidalis, class is the Dicotyledone, and in case of plant, no phylum, division utilized, Angiospermy. Wheat, wheat is the Triticum aestivum, biological name, genus is the Triticum, family Poaceae, order is the Poelis, class is the Monocotyledone, division is the Angiospermy. So in this way we can clarify, but the entire process is going on. It's all right. Whatever you are talking about the theoretical perspectives, but how could you do, how could you identify, how could you implement the concept of taxonomy? By the help of some aids, some certain procedures are there, some techniques are there which is developed by biologists, which is to store and preserve the information as well as all the specimens. This is taxonomic aids. Some of the taxonomic aids are there: herbarium, botanical gardens, museum, zoological park, key, flora, manuals, monograms, and these been catalogs are there. One by one we will explain. Herbarium, here you see that I have shown you the symbol of these taxonomic aids. So if you talk about the herbarium, if you see about the herbarium, so it is a storehouse of the collected plant specimens. These are dried, pressed, and preserved on sheets, and these are stored in a house. That is herbarium. Along with their description on herbarium sheet, become a storehouse or the repository for the future uses. That also carry a label providing information about data and the place of the collection, English, local, botanical name, family, and the collector's name. So that is a quick referral system. Here I am showing you the picture of the herbarium. Everybody knows about the botanical garden of the Shivpur. So you see here is a picture of the great banyan tree of Shivpur botanical garden of Shivpur, which is said to be the specialized garden, have a collection of living plants for reference. All the plants has been collected there throughout from long back, and these are identified also. So that is used as a referral that is standardized by comparing we can also identify the plants, and each plant is labeled indicating its botanical scientific name and its family. So famous botanical gardens are there: the Kew in England and Indian Botanical Garden, Howrah, India, and at the National Botanical Research Institute, Lucknow, India. So here I have shown you the great banyan tree of this botanical garden of the Howrah here as a symbol. So you should go and follow that one. So from the discussion, I hope you could understand how wonderful is the living world, and we must study that one, and we must also protect themselves. Save the environment, save yourself. That is the appeal. Save the wildlife, save yourself. So the next perspectives is the museum. So that is set up in the educational institutions in large scale or small scale. Here the Calcutta Museum is there. I hope this one is a picture from the Calcutta Museum storehouse. It has a collection of the preserved plants, animal specimen for study and the references. Specimens are preserved in a container or in a jar in these preservative solutions. And plants and the animals specimens may also preserved as a dry specimen. Insects preserved in the insect boxes after collection, killing and repeating. And larger animals like birds and mammals usually stuffed, and these been preserved also. And these museum also have the collection of skeleton of the animals. Here you see the Calcutta Museum, the animals collection is to be displayed here. Everybody know about the zoological garden of the New Alipur, Kolkata. So that is actually a zoological park, and the places where wild animals are kept in the protected environment. These are kept in the protected environment under human care, enable us to learn about their food habits and the behavior. All animals in the zoo are the preserved as well, and has been provided as possible conditions similar to their natural habitat. Children love visiting these parks. So here you see the picture of zoological park. Then we are the key. So key is the another taxonomic aids used for identification of plants, animals based on their similarities and the differences. And it is a all the points which are there. The key are based on contrasting characters that is been mentioned in the book you see, and the scientist is comparing a plant with these being keys also there. So this is a contrasting characters called couplet. It is a wide subject, vast subject. It represents choice made between two opposite options. Either you will accept or you have to be rejected. Each statement of the key is called a lead, and separate taxonomic keys are also required for its taxonomic category, family, genus, species also. And the next one, we have to talk about the flora manuals and these monographs. So the flora contains the actual account of habitat and the distribution of plant of a given area. They also provide index of the plant species found in a particular area. Next we are seeing the picture of the manuals that is useful in providing information for identification of name of species found in an area. Monographs which contain information of another taxons. So I hope next I am showing you YouTube links and some assignments also. So you solve it. So that's all. Thank you very much.